What's up and welcome. Today I'm going to kind of ruin the entire flow of this video by starting at the end. Here's the final product of what I made. And yeah, I didn't really like how it turned out, so let's talk about it. As we get further into this, I think this whole video is kind of just a bit of a mess. I had an idea of what I wanted to talk about at one point and then completely forgot about it, and then decided to have some coffee this morning, which I don't make a habit of. So now I'm straight up zooted on caffeine and decided to come and take a look at this because I wanted to just get this out there and be done. And I realized that I don't even like how the animation turned out in total. And this is something that kind of happens very frequently if you draw anything, is you'll draw it, you think it's okay, you'll step away for a bit, and then you'll come back and oh my gosh, it looks so much worse. It just happens. It's very funny. It lets you take a look at some of the different mistakes that are made, either throughout the process or in the final result. In this case, the final result, I'm not going to go back and try to touch up what I think is wrong, because I think that for what it is, I'm done. And that's something I'm going to be practicing more and more. When I come back and see mistakes, take note of them. Maybe not in it. Maybe I'll try to adjust some of them, I guess. I don't know if it's a good idea to go back and try to fix everything or not. To me, it sounds like that's a bad idea. Could be wrong though. If you happen to know what's actually better for you, then I guess let me know. But yeah, let's jump into this a little bit more. Recently, I've been working on animating just a tiny bit. I think it's really fun, and it's just awesome to have things move, even if they're very simple drawings. That is also one thing to note. I don't really like how my final drawings turn out, but we'll talk about that later. But yes, animation itself, very fun. Things moving is cool. And I've just been trying to practice simple stuff. I had started off with that squirrel animation I had made last video, and I had done a few other small stick figure stuff, because stick figures are, as it turns out, very easy to draw. And so yeah, I've just been making things move, and it's been really fun. It's interesting to see the different type of skill it requires. It's a lot more based on timing and shape deformation. So it just changes what you're thinking about as opposed to a static image. I actually kind of like it a little bit more just because it kind of goes along with what I was thinking about before, where I need to try to make things, I guess you could say faster, but make things less about the end product and just getting stuff out there. Just making things in general so that I can make more mistakes. So that's what I've been trying to do. And the reason I think it kind of makes sense with animation is because the drawings themselves don't have to look as pretty for the animation to be effective. So I don't have to focus on the details as much. I just focus on the base shapes. Which actually brings me to the beginning of this thing, which is this initial, here I'm gonna play it, this initial animation, which was me just blocking out how it was gonna be. And funnily enough, I think I like this better than I like the final result. So there's that, I guess. It's like the rough sketch versus complete inking, I guess. A lot of people have struggled with, or a lot of people I've seen online have struggled with their rough sketches looking better than their inking. And then part of that is just due to it being kind of more vague, obviously more rough. Your mind kind of forgives it more. In a lot of these kind of rougher sketches, they also usually have like more lines, it's busier, which kind of hides the underlying shapes, and a lot of the mistakes become fuzzier. And the same thing kind of applies to this animation too, because it's obviously rougher, there's not less details and whatnot. So it goes back to what I was saying a little bit ago about focusing on base shapes. Just because you can see the base shapes and how they're deforming, it kind of makes it more clear what's going on in a weird way. And so I think that might be why I like it better than my final one. And that probably just means I need to work on the drawings in my final sketch over a bit more. What should show in the work as it's sped up in the background, I focused a lot on this initial drawing, like this rough drawing version of it, because I was focusing on timing and whatnot. And then at the end, I kind of quickly drew over these rough ovals with the final drawing of my bird and barely changed anything at all for the final frames, which I think definitely should change if I'm going to try to make these look a little bit nicer. Oh my gosh, I'm already getting distracted. Okay, I need to focus on finishing this script before I lose my mind. Sketch good, finished product bad, work more on finished product, have fun doing it. Also, I need to come up with more little ideas like this that I can animate. Maybe doing something a little bit simpler would be good. A lot of the issues I was talking about that I had with the final product were mostly timing based stuff, which is hilarious because that's what I spent the most time on. But I didn't anticipate how it would change into the final drawings. So the planning was just not good enough. So I need to do more basic animations, I think, that have simpler timing for stuff in general. I didn't anticipate that this type of animation would be as hard as it was, and it was more difficult than I expected, but definitely fun to do. Anyway, if you made it this far and you happen to have any ideas for tiny looping animations or just cool little practice animations in general, then let me know. That would be sweet. Until then, though, I've been me. Have a good one. Peace.